People love to watch this sort of thing. They love to see classic cars come alive.
This is an Aston Martin DB4, and oh my gosh.
Does she have a name?
It's a boy.
Wow, hello.
Zaobserwujcie Motorhouse na YouTubie.
Well, hello everyone, it's Mr. Bob from Motorhouse, and I'm here with you at the Birmingham NEC for the Practical Classics Car and Restoration Show. I think that's how you say it. It's quite a long title for a show like this. Well, it's been an early Sunday morning start. It's been a busy weekend filming for the channel, but it's always nice to be back here at the PC show. Where do we start? Look, it's enormous. This is enormous. Where do we start? Well, I'm seeing the banner for Porsche Club GB, and that feels like a comfort zone, so let's head over there and start with the Porsches first thing. Look at this. Is it the Cayenne's time to shine? I am really into these off-road safari spec Cayennes. Of course, a really great drivetrain in these. You might think of these more as like Chelsea tractors, but remember, Porsche won the Paris-Dakar many times. That kind of tech is in the drivetrain of these early Cayennes. Proper low-range transfer box. Some of them even have a locking rear diff. Quite a machine. I'd quite fancy building one of these. Money, money. Now, as you know, what I do build on the channel is my own 996. Again, a car that I'm very much in love with, but ooh, what's happening here? Yes, it's the cross-section 996. Many of this you will be familiar with on the channel from working on my own car. Little bit easier access to the engine than mine, but here you can see the big developments, the big things that brought this car into the millennium, a non-more Y2K car, because of course, water-cooled, radiators at the front, the big departure, a relatively modern interior for the time. What do you think? Do you think this interior is aging well? Do you think it's Y2K style, or does it just look old and naff? Let me know in the comments here. Yeah, a lot easier to service when there isn't a car in the way. And then what a wonderful display this is. So this, of course, is the 996's sister car, the 986, or as you'll recognise it as the Boxster. And this shows the mid-engine layout, the big thing that differentiated the Boxster from the 911 of the period. But from the seats forward, essentially the same car. What a really great display. And then elsewhere on the stand, a car that has been derided for far too long, and this is just lovely. This is, of course, the 924, which was an aborted project by Volkswagen Audi. This was, believe it or not, the Scirocco ended up becoming what they went with instead of this. But this was the original idea for the car that became the Volkswagen Scirocco. VW Audi abandoned the project, Porsche picked it up, and arguably made the first kind of everyman Porsche. And I have to say, I can't remember when I saw one quite as clean and as lovely as this. I love these early alloys. I think, again, really great factory alloy wheel design. And some memories for me, if my sister's watching. Claire, do you remember us squeezing in the back of here in Dad's all those years ago? I was gutted when he sold it, but then I was only about 4 years old, so, you know, rose-tinted memories. And look, it's some more Porsche action. Here we go. In fact, yes, 996 Targa. As long-term viewers to the channel will know, I had a very involved history with the 996 Targa, the car that saved my life. If you'd like to watch more 911 content, I've linked in the description below a playlist on 911s. Go and have a watch one Sunday evening if you're looking for something to settle in and watch. As we say that, oh my gosh, look at this. What does one say? I believe a 993 Speedster style with the short windscreen. Yes, please. Oh wow, and talk about inspiration. As you all know, this is one of my favourite Porsche colours, and it's on a .1996. Oof. Come on, guys. Aren't these cars looking great nowadays? Isn't it time that we drop the prejudice against the runny egg headlights? Look at them. And just look at it. So here in the UK, if you are a Porsche enthusiast, there are two main clubs. The other one is Typec, Independent Porsche Enthusiast Club. And they've got a lovely stand, lovely display of cars here. Wow, hello. Hello, sexy ladies. Yes, yes, yes. I've got to say, I am quite surprised. Am I surprised? Taken aback? Notable that there are so many 996 and 986s here at the Practical Classics show. Here we go, here's another 986 here. Surprised, not surprised? Well, maybe not so surprised, because as you know from my own channel, these cars now are attainable, they are affordable, you can get into them. And there's a really, really great ownership community around them. Now, talk about a small world. The owner of this car, Gareth, came over and I realised I sold you some bits, didn't I, Gareth?
You did,
A while ago. It's the merry-go-round of owners. What was I talking about? These cars being fairly easy to modify, good community. Now, what did this car start out life as, Gareth?
It started out life as a C4S.
Right.
So obviously just standard C4S, and in terms of modifications, this has had pretty much just about everything you could throw at it near enough.
Yep.
So obviously it's GT3 RS roll cage, carbon fibre roof. The four-wheel drive system was deleted to make way, to obviously make it a lot lighter, make it two-wheel drive.
Absolutely.
So we've done that not just by ripping out the diff and the hub, we've made it as if you look underneath, it's as Porsche would have built a two-wheel drive wide body car. So it's two-wheel drive hubs, so it's GT3 front hubs, two-wheel drive suspension, GT2
also
fuel
you've changed
tank.
all the front hubs and everything to
the hubs are two-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Obviously it's got 6-part GT3 front calipers on now as well, hence the GT3 front hubs, GT2 rear calipers. It's running 350mm discs all round, KWs. Obviously the rear cradle's been dropped on solid mounts by 15mm. It's adjustable arms all round.
Fantastic.
So suspension wise, obviously that, and obviously we've lost a lot of weight. It's got a GT3 RS Motorsport ABS unit in, traction control delete, so there's no traction on it anymore.
And wasn't your partner telling me that it's had a complete bare metal respray as well?
Yeah, so it's been stripped to a complete shell.
Wow.
Underneath was painted as well as on top. So if you obviously look on my YouTube at Porsche Duck, you can see the builds of the car that underneath, and every component that went on was painted. So underneath, all the subframes painted, all the coffin arms and suspension components are painted.
Because
so
of course they never
they wipe clean.
Wonderful. Because of course they never built a two-wheel drive wide body 996 other than the GT2, but they never did a naturally aspirated two-wheel drive wide body, did they?
And that's where the start was for this. Obviously we were building what Porsche never built, which was a Carrera S. We got a bit carried away with the builds.
Did it escalate a bit?
It went a bit further than a Carrera RS, so we decided to call it the Carrera RS.
Well, it looks great, Gareth. I'm really chuffed to actually see it, because I remember when you called round and you were telling me the plans, and I thought, now that looks like something I need to check out. So, hey, look, let's stay in touch. Maybe we can get it on the channel at some point. That'd be great. So I thought this was worth filming. We've just had a quick chat with Gareth. You've just explained to me this is really quite a rare spec Boxster, right? Yeah, we've owned this about 5-6 years now. I bought it completely blind. I was blown away by its spec. I phoned the owner up and literally bought it there and then on the phone. He was in Eastbourne, so 250 miles away. But from factory, this car has Sport Classic split rims, MO30 suspension, Litronic, it's got full bows, it's got extended leather pack, and the creme de la creme, it's got GT3 bucket seats. So these were factory?
In red.
Seriously?
These are on its option sticker.
I have never, ever seen those on a Boxster.
They're worth more than the car.
That's wild. Holy moly.
So yeah, really, really cool spec. Like I say, the leathered leather
Wow,
speaker
yeah,
grills,
look at this.
stitched leather. They're all silver pack.
Someone specifically wanted a Boxster but had 911 money to spend, didn't they, with this?
100%. This is well into 911 territory.
Wow, that is spectacular. Just to point out, everyone, what we're talking about is these seats here. These are the GT3 style seats, whereas I'll nip over to this Boxster over here, and you can see these are the kind of regular sort of Porsche tombstones. But as Gareth's saying, these GT3 seats alone, God, I've lost track. We're talking thousands they're worth alone. What a unique car. Cheers. Thanks for pointing that one out, Gareth. Appreciate it. And from one Stuttgart-based car brand to another, here we are over on the Mercedes-Benz Club stand. And I have to say, the last few years, my appreciation of Mercedes-Benz as a brand has grown and grown and grown. I genuinely think that they are some of the best engineered cars money can buy at any price. And this in particular, one of my very favourite classic Mercedes. This one being the late 80s, running into the 90s, and believe it or not, even the early noughties R129 shape SL. Styled by Bruno Sacco, who was the head of design for Mercedes for many years. I just think these have got such presence, they really have. And such an incredibly well designed and engineered car. My personal favourite is an earlier car with the two-tone. These lower, they're called Sacco panels after the designer. They did a two-tone of this. Particularly fond of that, but gosh, what a lovely machine. What a lovely machine. Wow, 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 here with other YouTubers. We're with Ryan from Yorkshire Car Restoration. How's your day, Ryan?
Yeah, it's been absolutely mental, honestly. The people coming down to the stand and absolutely, saying, you've taught me how to weld, you've taught me how to do this, it's absolutely insane. And people, I've got to shake your hand because people love to watch this sort of thing. They love to see classic cars come alive, and that's exactly what we do at Yorkshire Car Restoration.
Yeah, absolutely. We've just been talking off camera to your wonderful camera lady. Look, it's like I've got a third member of staff here today. Who is filming us, but yeah, talking all about the YouTube journey, trying to get it along. I think one of the best things as a YouTuber is come out, meet other people.
That's it. I mean,
people who have got more subscribers than you, you've been on the journey before, and I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a big investment in actually doing collaborations with Matt Armstrong, Colin Firth, Auto Alex. We do free restorations for these guys, so they could obviously, the big names, so they can sort of like give us a plug on their channel and actually let people know that we exist, because a lot of people don't know us at Yorkshire Car Restoration exist. And smaller channels always find it difficult to get themselves out there, but if you're able to do something for a bigger YouTuber, then it's always better. And we've had the facility to actually restore Auto Alex's car, Matt Armstrong's car, Colin Firth's car, free of charge for him, which is a massive investment.
But it's a huge promotional opportunity.
It is, because it gives exposure. It lets the viewers know that we actually exist, which is crazy, because if everyone in the world knew you existed, you'd have billions of subscribers, right? Because
I'm working on it. I'm working
on it. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, if people know you exist, they enjoy your content. There's millions of people out there that will enjoy your content. They just don't know that you exist and your channel exists. It's all about consistency. We've taken 4 years to get to where we are now, and it's been a crazy journey, doing ridiculous hours. But it's been really enjoyable.
Well, you guys aren't that far from me. Would you mind if I came up and had a look one day?
Of course you can, mate.
Excellent.
We've literally got 45 cars inside and 45 cars outside for you to look at, film, and do everything with.
Right, okay, so if you'd like to see that, do me a favour, like and subscribe below, do the pointy thing, and we'll have a video over there. I think in the meantime, there's some glorious shonk in front of me, some marvellous chod waiting to be explained, so let's go and have a look at the cars.
Yes.
Mazda Cosmo?
This is indeed a Mazda Cosmo 110S.
Blimey.
1970, right? Only 1,100 ever made worldwide.
I mean, I'm shocked I'm even seeing one.
You'll never see another one in your life. That's how rare. There's probably 2 in this country, right? Mazda own one of them. They import it, so it comes from Poland and back. And then there's this one, and that is it. Now, you may find it a bit weird because we've got these panels on.
I know, I'm seeing some shiny paint and some very not shiny
some very not patch
Very
shining.
not,
I mean,
yeah.
if you can see that, that's absolutely rusty.
That's some quality Japanese sheet metal.
Very thin, very rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's to showcase what this car used to look like, right? Because how better? You can show photos, you can show videos, but in the flesh, you can see what it used to look like.
See, this is why these guys are the professional YouTubers. This is what. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look. You can see in there. Yeah.
Oi.
Super rusty.
Oh.
So crusty, it's unbelievable.
I'm just going to point it right. Where are you going to go to get a replacement bonnet for a Mazda Cosmo?
You're just never going to, because there was only 1,100 ever built, right? You're not going to get a bonnet, you're not going to get a wing mirror, you're not going to get sill sections.
It's not going to happen, is it?
And this car, we restored it in 4 weeks to where it is now. It didn't have any sills because
4 weeks, everyone. 4 weeks.
It was an absolute mental time in our lives, to be honest. But these louvers on the side actually hold water and it doesn't drain out because the drain holes get blocked. This was like a design flaw. It looks good, but it
looks
holds
great,
water.
but
yeah. So we did floor pans, sill sections, the back, windscreen surrounds. We did all of this front here. Was off on that side because it was slightly damaged underneath, so we had to take it all off. And honestly, this is such a rare car. I think the term for it is hen's teeth, because there is literally not many left.
So what are you doing? Fabricating new body panels?
Yep, all by hand. So we use basic tools which the DIY guy can actually use. You can get them off eBay for a couple £100. An anvil, a hammer, a sandbag, shrink and stretcher, and then that's all you need to go. You can even get a panel, right, and bend it over your knee to get something. You can use a doorstep and bend your panel. It's dead easy.
But it's doable.
A lot of people look at a rusty car and they get overwhelmed with it, right? But you take it step by step. You do a little tiny section at a time, and you just keep doing that day by day, and all of a sudden you've got a restored car. And it's dead easy. You can get the shape of anything by just using a lamppost to bend it round, or
use that as your radius.
Exactly.
Going on it.
Yeah, it's absolutely mental.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, we've restored this very quickly. There's still a lot to do. We've still got all the dashboard to do and all the everything inside. But
I've only just noticed it is a right-hand drive car as well. So is this a genuine UK car?
Yeah.
Wowzers trousers.
I mean, it's
blooming heck.
As rare as you can get this car. It's
Crikey.
Absolutely ridiculous. And the whole underneath is all white and majestic, and it's absolutely brand new underneath there. We've had it on a rotisserie. We've flipped upside down, stripped all the underseal, got all the rust repairs done underneath, and just look at it. It's an absolute beauty.
Blimey. Wow. Well, there's some more chod to my right with an engine that I recognise that should not be in that car. Let's go and have a look at that one.
Yes.
It's a Countach. Is it though? Because I seem to remember that Countach has had a V12, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And follow me. That is a Rover V8, isn't it?
Yes. That's not a V12, it's a V8.
And I think, mind you, I was going to say an Italian car wouldn't come out of the factory looking like that, but go on, tell us the story. What's the story?
So this is actually a Mirage Countach.
A Mirage Countach.
So this is a 100% copy of the real thing, right? So even down to the tubular chassis and everything, it's exactly the same as the real thing. It's not based on an MR2, it's not a Fiero. It's actually on the V5 that I've got. A Mirage Countach. And believe it or not, right, give me an estimate. How many miles do you reckon is on this car? It's from 1991. Give us your best guess.
Well, with kit cars, I'm going to go 15,000.
4,500.
4,500
We've not even run the engine in yet.
I'll tell you what, the 80s were a crazy time, but this car looks like it did a lot of cocaine in 4,500 miles. In it. This was a hell of a journey.
Yeah, but it's fairly undrivable, this car. I mean, if you look through, you can actually see that there's no rear view mirror, basically.
There's not a lot there, is there? Let's be honest.
And if you can see through that, you can't see past this.
Hang on, I'm going to have a quick look. And no, that is minimal, viewers. That is minimal.
Yeah. So the story with this is, I found it on eBay.
Yep.
Right. Contacted the guy.
Of course, you found it on eBay.
Yeah. Found it on it. I typed in Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Lowest price first. This came up. Contacted the guy. It was half an hour away from where I lived. Went down to him. And it was stuffed in a hedge outside of his house where his barn is, right? And yeah, so basically he had the story for it. He was taking it to different shows. He said, I like to come out of the house and just look at the car. I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Since then, I bought it about 8 months ago. We've got the engine started, 4,500 miles on that, runs absolutely sweet as a nut. So
it's a Rover V8.
It's literally brand new, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it runs sweet as a nut. The plan is to restore it.
Yep.
Underneath, engine bay, inside, pristine, leave the paintwork like this.
Oh, I like it.
And I'm going to be driving this to Tesco or Asda, right?
Yes,
Putting my
mate.
shopping in the back.
Yes.
Like this.
I'm there for it. Well, this sounds fun. We've just been having a quick chat. Seeing as I have experience hands-on with Rover V8s, we might be able to help each other out here. So
okay.
Who knows where this is going to go, but wow. Yorkshire Car Restoration, Ryan, thank you so much for your time, mate.
Not a problem, it's
Excellent.
a pleasure.
There's exciting things ahead, everyone.
Another car that's been on my ticky box list and I've not yet acquired, the Lotus Elite. They're styled by the incredibly British named Oliver Winterbottom. Same designer behind my TVR. Again, go and have a look in the playlists for details on that. This over here being the XL, which was the heavily developed 80s version of the car. And again, I think is aging really well. Yes, totally a wedge car of the period. I think very, very stylish, very much a gentleman's sports car, and something of a smaller Grand Tourer as well. Very usable. Something I love about these is they were all built with the XLs anyway, were built with a galvanised chassis and a fiberglass body. So it is a car that you could use and it's not going to disintegrate. Delicious twin cam goodness. Well, we're here in the Midlands in the UK, and the Midlands was a source of enormous car manufacturing, engineering, and arguably the most famous brand from the Midlands, and the one that is still alive, is Jaguar. So we're here on the Jaguar Drivers Club stand. Wonderful display from them. Let's go and have a quick look around. One of the things that makes this show unique and stand apart is that you will see restorations and renovations happening in real time in front of you. So this lovely, lovely XK140 coupe is being renovated and recommissioned live by the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust. The car apparently has been parked and laid up for some years, but as you can see, it's been recommissioned, tidied up right here, right in front of you. What a magnificent thing that is. It does make me giggle a bit that Jags, perhaps nowadays, have a little bit of an old bloke image. But when you consider that way back in the 70s, Jaguar saw fit to bless their Roadster with a V12. This one, you may notice, not so standard. Full set of ITBs on. Gosh, how much would I love to hear this on full chat. Beautiful, beautiful Restomod. Do you think anyone would miss it if it went missing? Come home with me, my beautiful pussycat. Well, I got distracted by some very, very pretty looking Karmann gears, and apparently this is the man to talk to. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Pete from Californian Classics. We're a Karmann gear specialist based on the South Coast.
And it's just Karmann gears, that's what you do?
Predominantly, we do a few Beetles, but mostly it's gears. I think we've restored about 30, 35 of them now.
Oh, wow, okay.
Ship them all around the world. Largest supplier of parts for these in Europe, and largest restoration house in Europe.
So, why the Karmann gear? Why not the other air-cooled VWs? Why did this draw you in?
Difficult one, really. I started with Beetles, and then one of my mates said to me about Karmann gear that he wanted us to look at, and I said, oh, I'll go and have a look. Oh, a strange looking thing, quite like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Then before I know where I am, I'm sort of building one or two for myself, and then on to doing this business, which is...
Yeah, fantastic. So who would you say is the typical sort of person that would go for a Karmann gear over another kind of typical sort of air-cooled German classic? What?
Someone with good sense of taste.
With a good, that is That's the good marketing reply, that is, isn't it? That's a man who knows his business. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's often you find it's people that have had a Beetle and they say, oh, it'll be easy to restore one of these because we've had a Beetle and they're easy.
Right.
These things aren't easy to restore.
Okay.
That I think is why we've been quite successful with what we do. We get an awful lot of companies that restoring the cars phone us up for help. Often sort of going, help, how does this go back on?
Right.
Or what have you. And then, you know, we've just grown over the last 10 years to a point where we're, you know, pretty well known for what we do. Knock out lots of cars, lots of customers, cars all over Europe.
Fantastic. Lovely. So, let's say you had clean canvas, let's say, I don't know, you had an old tired Californian import and you could build it exactly how you wanted it. What's your dream spec, favourite spec?
Well, I've got several of them.
Of course you have.
I would say I like the Maluch cars.
Yeah.
It has to be big motored. The stance tends to be nose down, arse up.
Yeah.
200 brake, something like that.
Ooh, tasty.
With engine like we got on display over there,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Something that's going to be spirited to drive, just to put a smile on my face, really.
Fantastic. Well, look, lovely meeting you. Hope you've had a great weekend.
Yep.
And yeah, good luck. Check these guys out. If you're into Karmann gears and whatever, give Californian Classics a shout. I'm sure they are the people to talk to. Well, I'm not going to lie. Feel a little bit like a hyperactive teenager, not really knowing where to look or film next. Where do we go? Where do we go? I don't know. MG. Let's go and have a look at some MGs. I would describe myself as an MG admirer. I have never owned an MG, although I am certain that it's going to happen at some point. I don't know, what is people's perceptions of an MG? And what do you define as an MG? Well, this, you might say, was the first proper post-war MG, the MGA. This one in coupe form, because it's got a roof, and also had the famous B-Series engine in 1600cc capacity in an MGA. But what a pretty, pretty little car this is. I would very, very much love to own an MGA. I think they're a real gentleman's coupe. But unlike some of the more exotic cars from the 50s and 60s, always easy to work on, always very affordable to run. Oh, yum yum, pip pip, Watto. Well, it seems today is the day for cutaway cars, and this, I don't think anyone will argue with me, the most famous MG of the lot, the MGB, which was, up until the Mazda MX5, the biggest selling sports car ever. I have long fancied an MGB, and the thoughts of having one as a bit of a daily driver are ever appealing. Again, all the MG hallmarks of being very, very easy to look after and unrivaled part support. You will not find a car, a classic car, that is better supported for parts than an MGB. MGB GT is a daily? Possibly. Maybe watch this space? Who can tell? Now then, talk about a British hot rod. Very attractive looking MGB Roadster, but something was just peeking out of the engine bay that caught my eye. Now, there was a 6-cylinder engined MGB, it was called the MGC, but that is the famous Jaguar XK twin cam engine. Apparently, the 240. The baby Jag XK engine, and well, isn't that a good fit? And it doesn't appear to have had any structural mods to make it fit either. Oh, BL, what were you doing? Look, you had arguably the best 6-cylinder twin cam engine in mass production in the world, and it would have fitted. So why didn't you do it? Well, I'm glad someone has. I bet that is an absolute hoot to drive. Yeah, loving this with the little knockoff Dunlops. Very cool, like this a lot. You can't talk about practical classics without talking about the MX5, can you now, really? Perhaps ironic that the car that was set out to ape the classic sports cars of the 60s and 70s, is now a bona fide classic in its own right. Of course, over 30 years old now. The car celebrated its anniversary last year. And such an evergreen sports car. And I think, like a lot of these evergreen sports cars, is that they have such a long life. You can see the hands-on. How are we doing, gents? Is it going all right? Everything going well here? We got some. And I bet you this, even though it looks like it does, I bet you this absolutely starts at first turn of the key. I've never owned a car that is as reliable as an MX-5. Even when I've had one where the engines have been worn out, smoking, rattling, they will still start up, still run. What a great little legacy. I kind of miss my MX-5 a bit, I'm not going to lie. When people talk about rare, exotic cars, they often think of something sexy and glamorous and fast, but the reality is that some of the rarest cars are some of the most humdrum cars because no one really bothered keeping them. This, a great example, and to my amazement, there's even an owners club. This is the Alfa Romeo Arna. This famously is the car that was a collaboration between the Italians and the Japanese, but in a little bit of a convoluted manner that didn't necessarily result in the best final package. But yeah, when did you ever see one? I think we might be looking at something like 20% of all the Alfa Romeo Arnas left in the UK right here. Who knows? I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. I'm only a quarter Polish, but this car is very Polish, right? A proper Polish icon. So introduce yourself to the camera, sir.
Hello, I'm Matt. This is my Fiat 126.
Yeah.
I got this car about 3 years now.
Yeah.
It's a proper Polish car. Bought it all the way from Poland.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Registered
Polski Fiat.
in UK.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been fully restored in UK with my mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was restored 2 years ago. So yeah, this is
looks
how it
great.
is, right? Yeah.
It looks great. So obviously the term for this is Maluch, right? That's what,
yeah, Maluch.
That's what the Polish refer to as the little 126.
Yeah, because they call in Poland the Maluch as a little baby.
Oh yeah,
right,
little baby.
Yeah, so they call it as a Maluch. This is called, and even it's got the private plate.
I know, I saw this. Look,
Same.
This is great.
MA. So. Yeah, 4 is A, yeah, for M, look, Maluch.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, obviously, 126P for Polski Fiat, right?
Yeah.
But this was originally an Italian Fiat design, the 126.
Yes.
So how does the Polski Fiat version differ from the Italian 126? If at all.
Yeah, so basically they only changed, what is it? The badges.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why fiddle with perfection, right?
Yeah.
When you have something as perfect as Maluch.
Yeah, so they changed
why
the badges, and Poland has bought the license from Italy to make them. So I think Italy, I'm not sure if it's 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bought the license and they carry on making them in Poland.
Wow. So I think I was just chatting to your dad. Did he say they were making these up until 2000 or something like that?
Yes, in 2000. I'm not sure what the month. I think half year 2000.
Yeah.
They stopped it. They closed all the factory.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is 99, so this is little bit just before the final version, because the final version was happy end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just that below. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I love it. So take us around the back, because obviously these are rear-engined. Are these still air-cooled, these late 126s?
Yes, they're still air-cooled. There was some 126s made it for as a bis for UK.
Oh, the bis. Yeah, I remember the bis.
So they had the tailgate open up. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Which goes back to like Fiat 500 days, I think, doesn't it?
Yes.
This flat twin.
Fiat 500, they had the same engines.
Yep.
as the 126s.
Yep.
Yeah, the first model 60s and 70s, they had 600cc. This is 650cc, so little bit. It's got only the, one horsepower difference.
Wow. But when in Maluch, 1 horsepower makes a big difference, right?
Yes.
Amazing. Oh, this has really cheered my day up, this has. This is, here we go. My Polish heart, the quarter of my Polish heart is very happy. So if you want to follow the escapades of Matty with the Maluch, you can, where are you, Facebook and TikTok?
Facebook and TikTok. I'm gonna start YouTube soon.
Oh, amazing.
And wherever I'm gonna go, I'm just making lives and everything like that.
Yeah?
I'm making posts on Facebook where I am, where I will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only last week I made it like an advert on Facebook saying I've been here in NEC.
Yeah.
Showing my car. Who wants to say hi or take a picture of there?
Amazing. Well, look, when you get your channel started, give me a line, drop me a bell, and it'd be great. Let's take the Maluch for a drive.
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay.
Matty,
Okay.
lovely,
Thank you
lovely to meet you. That's really put a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Zaobserwujcie Motorhouse na YouTubie. On zrobił właśnie cały filmik o Fiacie 126P. Zaobserwujcie go jeszcze raz i tam wszystko będzie, co mówiłem o swoim Fiacie 126P.
Oh, do you know, something that is wonderful about these kind of shows is an early start. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't necessarily feeling it this morning, but coming and meeting people, it's the people involved with these cars that just make it. And you know, chatting to some fellow Poles. I know I'm a fake Pole, but yeah, some fellow Poles about Maluch. Oh, well, every year here at the NEC, at the Practical Classics show, there is the Pride of Ownership competition display with a bunch of owners entering their cars, all hoping to be crowned as the winner. We've got a real selection here, but oh gosh, an SM. Now the Citroen SM for me has to be one of the most elegant, beautiful cars ever made. That's my taste definition anyway. This for me is absolutely peak Citroen. It is when they were daring, futuristic, adventurous. The SM featuring the oleo pneumatic suspension that was debuted on the famous and iconic DS. But the SM was the car that really took the concept to the nth degree, because not only did it have this beautiful swoopy coupe styling, but under the bonnet, finally, the power plant this kind of chassis deserved. That is a Maserati V6, and by virtue of the unusual packaging of this car, this is maybe one of the few cars you'll ever see where all the accessories are arranged like this and driven from a separate drive forwards. Quite a bonkers thing, quite a wonderful thing. Yeah, this is getting my thumbs up. Hey up, you! It's a GT Turbo. Must be right fast. That's good. That's good. Hello, Bob, Motorhouse. Lovely to meet you.
I'm Paige. This is my Renault 5
Hello,
GT
but
Turbo.
of course it's your car.
Not his.
What a foolish man I am. I mean, look, it even says there, duh, Bob, duh, idiot. Paige, why a white Renault 5 GT Turbo?
So, my granddad used to work for Renault back in the day, and then my dad got addicted to these little French rock boxes, and then it sort of went on to me. So when I was a kid, he brought this home, and instead of a swing set, I had this to play in. I used to gather my cats, and we used to go on imaginary adventures, and then he put it on the road, which was great, because I could actually go on real adventures.
Oh, fantastic.
And then, yeah, and then I wanted to restore it back to absolute original, because he had it resprayed a Subaru white. which I didn't realise at the time was very wrong.
The wrong white.
The wrong
white.
And then I had
and
it
you know,
resprayed.
don't you, when you try and respray the wrong white,
the colour difference is dynamic. But I had it resprayed back to glacial white, and it's here today with us now.
So come show us. I mean, I can't remember when I last saw a factory standard GT
I know
turbo.
they're becoming extremely rare now, because I know a lot of people still love them, and there are a few still about.
Yeah.
But they changed the wheels, suspension, that sort of stuff.
Well, it was what happened in the day, wasn't
Literally.
it? It was.
But it
Come on,
is-
show us around. Show us inside. Show us inside.
It is used. It's driven as much as possible. I've taken it around track. One of the pictures
Oh,
are there.
amazing!
It's been it is literally part of the family, as you can see. It's been around track. So inside isn't completely immaculate. There are just a few marks, but that's what you get after.
Hey, it is an 80s Renault,
It's-
right?
yeah.
They were built for a good time, not a long time, weren't they?
So as you can see, the driver's side is slightly worse, but you see these marks here. But over time, that will get fixed and everything like that. But like I
but
say,
it's so 80s, isn't it? With the red stripes and the red carpet and the bucket seats with the rad red dashers. Wow! I briefly had a Bogo standard Renault 5
Did you?
many years ago, but yeah, these, I think even then, even going back 15, 20 years, these were either kind of in the scrappies or dying or.
My dad picked it up for £100 in 2003.
£100?
£100, yeah.
Wow.
Because people were just throwing them away. Like, I've heard stories that people have thrown them away, even if it had like a slipping clutch, because they just didn't want to have to spend the money and the time fixing it. But
Crazy,
now,
isn't it?
every time I hear that story, they're like, "Oh, wish I saved it."
Yeah.
So, lucky enough, this one made it through that era, and it is obviously like sitting here today with us.
Now,
looking beautiful.
one of my favourite tidbits about the Super Sync, this shape Renault 5, you probably know this because you're a nerd.
I am a nerd.
What has this got in common with a Lamborghini?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Right, you can trot this off. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Both this and the Countach was styled by Marcello Gandini.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
True facts?
Oh my god, I'm gonna have that put somewhere.
There you go. Well, actually, what I put is a Lamborghini is also styled by the same person as a
this
Renault
one's
5.
better.
I mean, yeah, there you go. So no, that's one of my favourite little tidbits. That is.
Oh, that's
that
brilliant.
is.
Thank you though for telling me, because I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
So I basically got.
Well,
a
I'll
Lamborghini
double
here.
check. I'll double check. But that's something that's lodged in the back of my head.
Oh, that is brilliant. But
Oh, this is great. Does she have a name?
it's a boy.
It's a boy car.
It's a boy car.
It's a boy car. What's
Yep.
his name?
It doesn't have a name. He is just the 5.
He's the 5.
He is the 5.
Well, hello, the 5. It's lovely to meet you, and it's lovely to meet you too,
Yes,
Paige.
and you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, one of the sad things on the channel, looking at the stats, can you believe this, Paige? Only 1% of my audience are women, right?
Come on, women, we need to do
Where
it.
are you, ladies?
Us,
Come on,
we can do it.
subscribe,
We can do it better than men.
because I am determined we are going to get more women owners on the channel.
We will. We
Absolutely.
will.
And you're a mechanic.
I'm a technician. I work
A
at...
technician?
Yeah. Currently work with Audi, but a opportunity did arise so I could actually go and work for Renault themselves. So I'm going to go and work for Renault at the end of this month. But I dismantled this myself, obviously to keep costs down, sent it away, and then I had it resprayed and welded, and then within a week it went from a bare shell, and I put it back together in a week, and then MOT'd it myself, because I'm an MOT tester as well, and it passed.
Paige, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, look, big shout out. We need more women on the channel.
Yes,
we need more
honestly.
women subscribers. So please do us a like, share, subscribe down there.
Please,
and
women.
hopefully we'll get more wonderful people like Paige on the channel in future. I'm being pulled in by the tractor beam, because not only is it a turbo, it's a Lotus Turbo Esprit. Oh, bloody hell. Bloody hell, you. That is right fast. That is right fast. Oh God, does it get any more 80s? I mean, people talk about the DeLorean as being the 80s icon, but come on. It's a white Lotus Turbo Esprit with white wheels and a white interior. This, I bet when you turn the ignition on this, you get the Bonnie Tyler Simmons toms. Oh, this is just a gorgeous thing. This is another shape that's still still excites me every time I see it. And cheeky little James Bond reference there, sir. I see what you did there. Very amusing, very amusing. Oh, we are keeping the Leyland legend alive. Here they are, some of the most infamous cars from the BL era. It's a Marina. And it's I'm not going to say sexy. I don't care. There's nothing sexy about a Marina, but it's sporting. God, can I even say sporting about a Marina? We'll go with it. It's sporting coupe sister, the 1.8 GT. Actually, quite a lot in common with an MGB, really. Oh, look, so much beige, 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 beige. In Ital. The Marina. Oh, and then my friend Dudley would be loving this. He'd be saying to me, Bob, it's a Maxi, Bob. Yeah, I should have just sold all your other cars, Bob, and just bought a Maxi, because it's a quality Mazda, that is. Oh, yeah, Bob. Get yourself a Maxi. Well, one last quick visit before lunchtime. But, of course, we've got to have some Land Rover content on Motorhouse. Of course we have. If you do like Land Rover content, again, I've put a playlist in the comments. You can watch all my spannering on Land Rover vehicles. Now, another car that is seemingly almost extinct in its original form is the original Discovery. Powered by a range of engines, including one of my favourite engines of all time, the Rover V8. Here's a nice early Discovery. The very earliest, believe it or not, was still on carburetors. One of the very last cars still to be running carburetors. That's something I love about these early Discoveries is the interior, which, believe it or not, was actually a Karmann design masterpiece. Sonar blue, very, very, very late 80s, early 90s. And what a treat to see them like this, because of course so many of these have just been ragged to death, chopped up, destroyed in quarries. But this one, oh, this is lovely. Yes, me likey. Now then, talk about rarities. I've not looked around the front yet, but MPI suggests that this Discovery has something exceptionally rare under the bonnet. It is, I can see it, an MPI Discovery. How many MPIs left nowadays, do you reckon?
20, we believe.
20. We'll chat to you in a minute. Good grief, I wasn't wrong. These, an exceptionally rare variant with a 2-litre Rover-derived engine in, petrol, not diesel. I can't remember the last time I saw one of these. Let's have a quick chat with the owner. So this is the owner, Morgan. I'm astonished, an MPI Discovery and one as clean as this. I thought these were basically extinct. Tell us about the MPI and tell us how you came to own this.
So the MPI was originally came in for a company car tax.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't very popular over here. So they only made about 1,200 for the UK.
Is that actually all that were made in the first place?
The UK, yeah.
Wow.
There's about 20 left now. They're very popular in Italy and Greece.
Yeah. Taxation rules, I think, isn't it, with Italy? Like if it's over 2 litres, you get big spend.
Big spend. Yeah. But I purchased this in December. 2 previous owners before had had it for like 6 months, and then the original owner had had that 30 years.
Wow.
And spent most of its life in an underground car park. So
that's astonishing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the best preserved MPI left. Do you know personally of any others?
I know of a couple. We believe we've done some history on this. This might be the earliest one left.
Really?
So, and possibly the cleanest.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, as you know, finding a 200 series Discovery that's clean on its own is hard work nowadays, but an MPI,
yeah,
crikey.
Just don't find it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to buy a Peugeot 205 originally.
This is quite different to a Peugeot 205, if you don't mind me saying so.
I wanted to buy a Peugeot 205, my granddad had just got one. He was like, come to the shows with me. And then this came up instead, and I was like, nope, I'm going to have that.
That's it.
That's it.
That was it. It just called to you.
Yeah.
Well, amazing. Good on you. Good on you. And good grief, what a rarity. Well, let's do some more discovery content. And I think if there's a spec that defined the very early discovery and the breakthrough that it was for Land Rover, this is probably it. An early 3-door TDI. This was the vehicle that debuted the 200 TDI, the legendary turbo diesel engine of Land Rovers that really kind of saved the company. And this absolutely in what I would call launch spec with the side graphics. Don't they look great? It's a shame they've kind of disappeared, but here they live. So, where my two worlds collide, music and classic cars. So one of the big challenges with classic cars always is trying to incorporate modern connectivity and sound quality with something that doesn't look out of place. Even slipping in a head unit from now in a car from the 2000s can look a bit jarring, but I've just heard about this. This is a company called Reluxe. This is their new head unit, and I think I've got the designer over to my right. Let's have a quick chat. So this is Tom. Say hello, Tom.
Hi there.
What? And also, can I just say, what a dapper dressed gentleman. This is a man who would obviously design something that looks as stylish as this. So, tell us about Reluxe. What's the goal with Reluxe? What are you trying to do?
Yes. So what we're trying to do here is that we're creating a smart stereo just designed for classic car.
Yeah.
So it got most of the modern functions you need in your daily driving, but maintains a classic look, like just what it's supposed to be. And it got the hand polished chrome frame, but inside the frame is a 5-inch touch screen. So,
oh wow! So this is a touch screen.
Yes, it is.
Oh wow!
So it got Apple CarPlay, it got Android Auto.
Wow!
As well as it have a Google Map built in. So
it has Google Maps built in.
Built in, yes.
Wow!
So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like an all-in-one solution, and what makes it more unique is that it also have a GPS tracker.
Oh, so you can keep track on your car?
Yeah.
Oh, integrated into this as well?
Yes. So
wow.
Double as a security device.
That's fantastic. So how long have you been working on this, Tom? How long has this been in the pipeline? That's a wry smile, isn't it, this is?
Yeah. Well, it's been 2 years since we're working with the company started 2 years ago, and we're working with a lot of experts from the industry, and we receiving tremendous help from the UK classic car community.
Right.
A few companies out there willing to become our let's put it that way, distributor.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we're working very closely with them to develop the system just for classic car.
Okay.
And we do our best to make it work, to make it work for all classic car owners out there.
I think there's all kind of different aesthetics with this as well, right?
Yes, so currently the first edition going to be a perfect fit for cars from 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
With a chrome hand polished
MGB dashboard, right?
It is.
Great,
it
MGB.
Is. Yeah, good for you.
Look at this. This looks so good in here.
Yeah, so, it's just fully functional, all-in-one solution for classic car.
That's fantastic. So, power-wise, will this do positive and negative earth as well, or is it negative earth only?
Currently it's negative earth only,
yeah.
But my chef engineer, who's definitely a genius, Sean, he's working on developing a converter just for that
really?
unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, currently it will be a negative earth.
So, show us, I'm seeing lots of different aesthetic options here. Talk me through, what have we got?
That's really the development progress. So that's the first edition, very early on 3D printing model, all the way to the final product here. So the cover is a very interesting feature, which I can show you with a beautiful.
Oh my gosh, what
What a beautiful car.
I'm just.
I'm not interested in the radio anymore, Tom. I'm sorry. No, of course I am. Please show.
Wrong move, Dan.
Wow, look, if you can get a radio to look that beautiful in the dash of a classic SL.
Yes.
So here we are in the interior of this absolutely gorgeous classic Mercedes SL.
Pagoda.
Pagoda, indeed. And here's the head unit. So,
Yeah. So the highlight will be, it got what we call removable smart cover. There's an NFC chip inside. So when you attach the cover back to the screen, it automatically adapt to the cover.
wow, and then you get the old style tuning band.
Exactly.
Wow, that's such a smart idea.
I mean, that's a whole idea here to maintain the look and blend in with a classic car. Because myself, I'm a daily classic car driver.
Yes.
I'm just, suffered by the limited function of a real classic backer.
Yes.
But I really don't want a modern unit to ruin the look of my car.
And it's so funny, isn't it? Even having a head unit that's 10 years out of date with a car can change the aesthetics so much, can't it?
Exactly. It just it looks totally different, When you go to a car show, when you go to a car meet, just picture this. Well, you
can just pop that on for the meet. There
exactly.
you go.
And after the car show, well, you just remove the cover and voila, you got a Google Map to go back home.
This is such a great idea, Tom. This is fantastic. So, these available now?
Yes, it is available now on Kickstarter and on our website.
Well, it's time to move on, try and catch as much as I can for today. We're going to leave the main show hall and move over into some of the traders. Obviously a very, very important part of the classic movement. Supplying tools, spares, parts and whatever. Let's go and see what we can find. Well, there are rows and rows and rows of everything from model cars to tools to restoration supplies. Wow. I keep saying it, the classic car movement is very, very much alive and kicking in the UK, despite what people might want to say. Look at this, all trim, parts, everything. I'm going to go and have a look over at the Auto Jumble, I reckon, because I do love me some rusty old chod. Well now. Well, let's go and have a look through the Auto Jumble, which is often an absolute goldmine if you're restoring cars. For example, if you need a Ford Corsair front light unit, there it is. It can often be an absolute godsend if you are restoring an old classic Auto Jumbles, because some of this stuff is just simply no longer available. Here you go, look, anyone who grew up around old Fords, Escort instrument clusters, Capri, could be absolutely invaluable to you as a restorer. So we're over at the Tudor booth and AccuSpark, and who's this fine gentleman?
My name's Tony, I'm the director of the Tudor Group.
Lovely.
Which was formed a couple of years ago now, and now encompasses all our other brands of AccuSpark, Watford Classics, BB Seats.
Ah, really? Okay.
And we are basically trying to bring back quality items that the traditional classic car enthusiast can afford, not paying the crazy prices that some of these other suppliers seem to charge for things that really shouldn't be those sort of prices.
Amen to that. Right?
So at the core of our sort of range is one of the things we're best known for is the Dynamator. Now we retail this sort of under 200 quid. Our competitors seem to think they can charge £500 for the same thing.
Wow, that's a massive difference.
So we've placed ourselves not to compete with other people because we just blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on another level.
Yeah.
Our trim is, most of the carpet sets are all under £100. Basically, we're price oriented. We're trying to give the customer, it is price driven, but we're trying to give it the best price, the best quality. And we don't think there's anybody else out there doing what we're doing.
It is a massive challenge, isn't it? Because I've encountered it. Reproduction parts, you buy them, they're either a fortune and a bit crap, or cheap and totally
we're
crap.
We're trying to do something the best, like I said, the best quality we can get
Yep.
but at a price that your normal, you know, your average fella that's got a car in his garage who wants to use the weekends that can afford. He's not got a Ferrari, he's not got a Bentley.
Right. It's an MGB.
He's got a Morris
something like
Minor,
that.
he's got an MGB, he's got a Trans Spitfire. And quite, but he hasn't got the budget to match those fancy cars.
Yeah.
Although we still cater for Jaguars and some of the better, the more upmarket cars.
So what would you say is one of the most popular components in the range? What would you think is like?
The obvious thing that we have is the original Tudor washer bottle.
Yes, that's the famous, isn't it?
A classic car on the market that doesn't have that.
Absolutely.
And quite frankly, our very best is the Dynamator range.
Yeah.
And then we just do a little bit of everything, what we kind of call dress up. So not technical parts, but things to make your car that you can buy it, take it home on the day, fit it, and be really happy with the way it looks.
Get that nice little buzz. You're like, there you go. I've
air filters, dashboard covers. We do all the stainless steel radiator caps.
Oh, lovely.
You know, just things that you can just bolt easily on. Nothing that's too technical, nothing too difficult. I mean, these are show prices, so this isn't our full retail price.
Of course,
you will pay a bit more on our website.
Yep.
But you know, £20–30 for a gauge. The dashboard covers, the fuel caps, the radiator caps.
Fantastic. So value focused, but with a good product as well.
Value focus, and a name that you can, you know where. We don't hide where we are. You know, people can come to our shop, they can come to our warehouse, they can buy from us directly, they can buy from our website, or they can come to a show and they can get a really good deal, because everything we have here is at a show price, just to give you that extra little bit of discount.
I'll tell you what a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much. Cheers. Well, I could spend hours sifting through old rusty chod and old car parts, but time is marching on, so I'm going to head to the restoration workshop in front of me, because obviously restoration is a big part of what this show is all about. Let's see what's going on over there. A feature of the Practical Classics restoration show for the last few years has been the Barn Find exhibition. Now, the whole concept of Barn Find is something that has perhaps fueled the classic restoration movement a lot over the last few years. I think there's always something about the thrill of finding an old abandoned car that hasn't been driven in many years, dragging it out, getting it running again. Let's go and have a look at some of the cars that are in the exhibition, and you tell me which one you'd like to save, or indeed find in a barn. Now, if you're under the age of 80, this might be a car brand that you've never heard of. This is the Bradford-built Jowett Jupiter. Now, Jowett, a Bradford-based car company. At last year's show, I had a chat with the Jowett Car Club. Very advanced cars for the time. They were very technologically advanced. As you can see, not springs, these here, this is the torsion bar front suspension, unlike a lot of cars at the time. Nice advanced cars. This would have had a flat 4 engine, like a Subaru, but no, actually built in Bradford. And this one, the Jupiter, this was their sports model. This was very much designed for the chap around town. This would be a challenging restoration. You cannot ignore that. But yeah, a car worth restoring? Let's say a car worthy of restoring. Yes, indeed. Oh mate, it's a tasty Jag, full of shooters and naughty boys. Yeah, it's an S-Type Jaguar, not a Mark II that you might think at first glance. You can tell because the rear is just a little bit longer on an S-Type. Now, an S-Type, to me, is actually the Jaguar that's been overlooked for a long time. This, to all intents and purposes, is actually an E-Type underneath this saloon body. It was the, I believe, someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but the first Jaguar saloon to have the very famous and very successful independent rear suspension. And this one, being a 3.8, this will be quite lively. Now, this is definitely something that I'd like to find in a barn. And here in the UK, it's very much the kind of thing that you are likely to find in a barn as well. Oh, I've just spotted as well, it's a manual overdrive. God, yeah, this would be nice. Unfortunately, one of those cars that is very expensive to restore properly. What would I do with this? Fix the obvious rust, clean it down, get it running, run it as it is. Enjoy driving the heck out of it. I certainly would. Well, of the cars here, this has had a constant stream of people around it, endlessly, and it's not surprising, is it really? This is an Aston Martin DB4, and oh my gosh, good grief. God knows how long this has been laid up, parked up, and it might now seem inconceivable that a car that is easily a six-figure car, very much into many six figures of a car, could end up in this kind of condition. But the reality is all luxury cars go through this process. They're very expensive when they're new, they depreciate rapidly, they fall into the second and third owner's hands who maybe can't afford to run them. As if anyone would do that, Bob. And then maybe something major goes wrong and they get parked up. I certainly know I've had to do that myself with a few cars over the years. And then unfortunately, if they get left, if they get forgotten, or if someone's health deteriorates, this can often be the result.
I think these are Ali, aren't they?
Yeah, it's going to need a lot, but this might be one of the cars that actually financially justifies its restoration. So here's a classic example of cars that can find themselves laid up for a long period of time. Reading the information about this Ford Puma was laid up in 2018 because of an engine fault. And again, unfortunately, this can often be the result, is that a car that isn't being used can quickly fall into this sort of state. However, I'm going to say it, I think this is absolutely ripe for restoration. The Puma is certainly a car that is gaining a cult following, and of all of kind of Ford's 90s cars that had I think they called it the new edge styling, which was very 90s Y2K in look. These are looking great. This one perhaps not looking so great with all of the mildew and the dirt and this, that and the other. However, yes, definitely a modern classic. Fight me in the comments if you disagree. So I've swung by Oxford University's Motorsport Foundation and I'm having a chat with Tom. How are you doing, Tom?
Very well, yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, I'm good. I'm running around at this point trying to film everything before the show closes, but yeah. But what caught my eye, it's a wedge. It's a 350i. I have one myself that's currently laid up. So tell us, why does Oxford University, I mean, why not, but why do you have a 350i wedge and I can see it's having some work done. Get us up to speed. What's happening
So
here?
this wedge was left to us by a guy called Dave Savage. He was a massive fan of the club. He was a massive car fan. This was his. The MGB over there was also his.
Yep.
And he loved what we do, and he left us this car as a project. So we went up to his house after he sadly passed away, and we had a dig. And this was basically in a shed which had a tree growing in it. And yeah, we dug it out. He got so close to finishing this car, but it then sat for about 15 years. So it was a really interesting rebuild.
Okay.
In that everything was new, but old.
But old.
So like,
right.
do it.
Why don't you take us a walk around? Show us the car, Tom. Show us the car.
So we've done a hell of a lot to it. That engine has been fully apart and rebuilt.
Nice. Mine needs an engine rebuild as well.
Oh, well, you know where to come now.
At some point. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been rebuilt to fast road spec. So that's about 10.5, 11 to 1 compression.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah,
okay.
It is a spicy.
That's a spicy
build. Flowed heads, fast road cam.
I've spotted now. Originally, these, of course, fuel injected. You've gone with a carburettor on this. What was the thinking of that?
So this was converted by Dave Savage before we got our hands on it, but we actually got a fuel injection manifold to put it back, but there's just something about the noise that 4-barrel makes that is just addicting, and especially for us, it's going to be sort of a hill climb or sprint car.
Lovely.
It just is so much more raw having it on a carburettor.
Yeah, you get a lot of induction noise, don't you? An awful lot of snort off that.
Yeah, and that big pan filter in the middle of the car just looks fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, this is nice. I wonder if they'd mind if this just kind of came home with me and kind of fell into the engine bay of my wedge. But look, this is great because I think these are massively, massively undervalued, underrated cars for what they are.
They are, absolutely.
And it makes me really happy. I was born in 1980, so I could have just about seen one of these when they were a new car. But do you mind me asking how old you are, Tom?
I am 20.
Wow, okay, so this is properly a car from ye ancient times.
Yes, this is something, yeah. This is the era I really like.
Really?
Cars. Yeah, this is a. Yeah.
Oh, that makes my heart skip a beat.
I know it's cliche to say you're born in the wrong era, but yeah. But cars for me, these are proper cars.
Well, you should come round my house. I have much ancient chod.
Oh well, maybe we'll pull the engine out for you.
That sounds well. I mean, I am game. I am game. Well, I'm going to have a quick chat with Tom off camera. But look, wonderful. This makes me very happy. Thank you for your time, Tom.
No problem. My pleasure.
You cannot talk about the classic car restoration scene without talking about Morris Minors, and here I'm talking to a Morris Minor owner. Say hello, Becca.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I'm here with the Morris Minor Owners Club Young Members section, who have been doing work on the stand all weekend. We've had 3 cars that have had loads of work being done, and we actually won the best live working display at the show.
Oh, bravo, well done.
Yeah, thank you. And it's been a real mix of stuff. So we've had new doors, new interior, we've had soundproofing, and then we've had shock absorbers being done, brake lines, brake adjustment, headlights, the works.
It's all being done. It's all happening here. Well, I'll get you to show me that in a minute, but whose car is this fine Morris Minor?
This is mine. So my car hasn't had any work done on it over the weekend because it actually had a lot of work done last year, part of a big restoration that I had done.
Yeah.
So it's here as kind of the end product example of doing lots of
look
work.
What you could have won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, right, tell me then, Morris Minor, I mean, gosh, it's such a backbone of the classic car community. Why do you have a Morris Minor? What do you love about your Morris Minor?
I love how usable it is, what great space and stuff you have inside. It just fits really well into being able to use a classic daily. So I've had mine for coming up to 5 years now, covered about 40,000 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so
fantastic.
it's the perfect car to kind of get that mileage in on, enjoy it, and yeah, just get out and on the scene.
Practical classic show.
Absolutely.
Here is a practical classic.
Absolutely.
Right? So
couldn't agree more.
It's your car. It's not a toy. It's your car.
And most of the cars that are on our stand are, I mean, apart from poor Herb over there, most of them are in daily use.
Yeah.
So definitely a well-loved car among people that are looking for a classic that they can also go to work or college or in as well.
That's wonderful. And also something I noticed, there's a lot of young people on the stand.
Yes.
I must admit, that was a little bit of a surprise, but I'm very happy to see that.
Yeah, we've got a really thriving young members scene. We've got around 60 to 70 young members who are in a WhatsApp group together, who are able to support each other through kind of whatever owning a classic car throws up.
Yeah.
And it makes for a great support network for that, but also great friendships. So we've all had a fantastic weekend here together, because it's not just people that we've had to be with on the stand, but it's people that we love being with. Wonderful. Regardless.
Wonderful. Well, I tell you what, let's go over in a minute and have a look at the car that's been restored, shall we?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is Laura, and it's owned by our young member Yayan, and all of the cars that have had work done on have had kind of little lists put down at the front of them. So this one has had its front shocks re-oiled, and it's had new front driver's seat put in, new headlining with a load of sound deadening. This lovely shiny new door here was put on it after the old one was quite rotted out.
That is a shiny door?
It is.
And that's a not so shiny door?
Yes, and the bottom of that door is completely missing as well,
Oh,
so
gosh,
much
okay.
more improved.
Yep.
Comfortable seat home for him on the way home, because he's had to replace that front seat.
Oh, so, and this is the other thing. So this is actually getting driven home, isn't it?
Yes,
It's not an
absolutely.
It's not
all
just
of
an
our
exhibit.
cars drove in on Thursday night, and all of them are now driving home in a couple of hours' time.
Wow, wonderful.
So it's been that kind of challenge of, we need to get stuff done, but we need to get it done in a way that means that the cars can still make it home.
Absolutely. So show us some of the other cars, Becca,
Yeah, absolutely.
please.
So this is Jean, and it's owned by Matthew Clark, who's probably better known as Fat Fryer on YouTube.
Okay.
So he's had to tighten his wheel bearing nuts because the guy that had done those at a garage hadn't really torqued them up properly.
That's disappointing,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is, especially as the guy was quite confident he knew what he was doing. It's had its front suspension dampers replaced, it's had its trunnions greased, its brakes adjusted, handbrake dealt with, number plate light fixed, an oil change, gearbox oil change, absolute works really.
So come for the show, do your weekend's maintenance, have a good time.
They're all so thrilled to have had the opportunity to do work this weekend in the warm, the dry, out of the rain, and just have a nice hard standing.
Luxury garage
it
environment,
really is,
isn't
yeah.
it, really?
And then finally over here,
Yeah, let's go.
we've got Bert, and Bert is owned by Josh. And again, another daily driven one here, and he's had to refit his headlights, which are very in keeping with the rest of the car. He's fitted his new AccuSpark electronic ignition.
Okay, I was just over having a chat with the guys over at AccuSpark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good upgrade, good upgrade.
And he's also got a solid state coil from them as well.
Super.
So that'll give that reliability that he's looking for in daily driving handbrake adjustment, fixed his reversing light situation, so he's got a better situation there now. He's tried to tidy the wiring, but that's kind of been an on and off job around everything else.
What, classic British car wiring?
Yeah. You do what you can,
wrong?
absolutely.
Yeah, right?
He's also had some work that he had to do on his passenger side door rather than the driver's side door.
Let's go have a look.
So he'd had a situation where the window had frozen when it was down in the door. So it was in the garage, but it had got wet and frozen in the door. He went to wind it up, didn't know, and so it had bent all of the mechanism. So he's had the top off of that and kind of straightened that all out.
Okay.
Also fitted his electronic tracker and stuff like that as well.
Yep.
But he's all set to go as well. So we're on track for them all being hopefully able to drive out of here really soon.
Well, that's wonderful. Look, congratulations on winning.
Yes, thank you very much.
Where can people check you out if they want to
so
get involved?
the Young Members has a WhatsApp that if you are a member of the club, you can get in contact with us via mmocym@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram to see kind of what we've been up to all weekend. Each of these cars has their own Instagrams, so Joshua, Matthew, Fat Fryer, and then mine is the Passenger Seat Podcast, so you can see kind of how usable the cars are and these people getting them out and enjoying them pretty regularly.
Fantastic. Well, I have to say, in 5 minutes, it's made me want a Morris Minor, so...
Can't go wrong.
Bravo. Excellent. Thank you very much, Becca.
No problem.
Well, my camera batteries are dying, and so are mine, but wow, what a great day this has been. Not gonna lie, it was an early start. It's been a busy weekend filming, and I wondered if I'd have the beans to come out and do this today, but oh gosh, it's always great coming out at big car enthusiast events like this, talking to people, looking at the breadth of cars for sale and that are on show, and coming away with a feeling of being more connected to the community than you were before. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, but it has been a long day. Thank you very, very much for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more car show review, I've put a playlist in the comments. And from me, Mr. Bob, and Motorhouse, it's goodbye. Thank you.